Okay, so this is going to be a short video. So obviously I need to also discuss another concert I recently saw, which of course is Evanescence. One of the big kind of new metal bands, I guess, from the early 2000s. Some people might be surprised that I actually attended this, but you know what? When you've had to deal with a pandemic for 2 years, then you know what? And you're just hungry for cultural events, then you're just gonna go and get what you can get, right? So I went and saw Evanescence pretty much the day after I saw Judas Priest, which would be on the 15th. And uh yeah, okay, so before I talk about the main event itself, so they had so when I arrived at the venue, which of course would be Oslo Spektrum Arena in Oslo. Uh, I was supposed to get a VIP package. I didn't get it right away. I was like, okay, what's going on? And so basically a lot of constant running back and forth. I do not have the items to share today because I'm a little bit scattered and I have a lot of stuff moving around. So eventually one day I'll be showing you what I got. So just keep remind me later on in the future if you still follow me by that time. So with that said, they had a couple of bands opening up for them. They had Unakana, I believe they're called, which is kind of more of this kind of hipster metal, I guess. Wasn't a lot of enthusiasm from the audience. They really were just like, yeah, okay, like pretty much they were just kind of wading through it, like going through the motions. I mean, not bad. I mean, they have decent musicians. They are pretty solid vocalists, I think, from a technical perspective. And of course, we had another band called Leprous, which is kind of one of the more newer Norwegian metal bands, which I think was pretty cool. I had never heard of them, and I really liked them. I think they really just gave a solid hour. And even though I think it was a little bit strange that they kind of were like, at the end, were like, okay, see you guys in March at some venue. I don't can't think of the top of my head where it was, but they were gonna be, but it's a little bit of a long time to wait for them. But anyway, um, as far as Evanescence goes, I mean, this is kind of weird for me because I haven't really listened to them since. To be completely honest, I don't think I've listened to them ever since the Open Door album. So, to me, to kind of going back to this a little bit is both fun with with us. It's funny in the sense of my fondness of them for early 2000s nostalgia, and but also at the same time I've kind of sort of moved away a little bit, or actually quite a lot, from that type of metal since then. So it's kind of a bizarre one for me. uh but I still think Emily is still a fantastic singer. I think she's still delivering the goods on this. By the way, that's a little bit of a pun because I also saw just recently. Please go and check out that review. Um, any, anyway, I think they delivered a pretty solid mix of the material from their latest album, The Bitter Truth, as well as some of their old classic ones from the albums like The Open Door and The Fallen. And yeah, of course, they performed a lot of the newer stuff, which people like, yeah, give a mild applause to. But of course, they really broke out when they did songs like, like Lithium and Call Me When You're Sober. And of course, to be hits like Going Under. And of course, when you finish the setup with Bring Me to Life as well as My Immortal, it doesn't get much better than that for early mid 2000s new metal nostalgia. So I honestly really enjoyed it. I've had a lot of fun with it. Would I attend them again? I'm not exactly sure. I think I'm just gonna speak for myself here. If you love Evanescence, that's fine. If you want to go to see every concert of them, cool, go, by all means, go ahead. For myself, I think I kind of had my fill, because to me they're kind of like the diet version of Nightwish. So so if you really want to listen to something that has the kind of that same kind of style, I personally would go for Nightwish in the next time around. So, and by the way, I did see Nightwish back in November or December, back last year in 2021. So yeah, I think chances are I'm gonna leave it at that. But overall, I think as far as the acts were concerned, like the opening act of Yokana, I'll give like a 3 out of 5, because they did deliver something actually 2.5 out of 5. It didn't do much for me. The second one, I'll give a 3 out of 5. I think they were a lot better. They were a lot more. Actually, you know what? I'll give them a 3.5, because I think they were a little bit more interesting as well. And of course, as far as Evanescence is concerned, I will give them a tough one. I think I'll just end up giving them a 3.5 out of 5. Not bad. I just don't really. I think they had good musicians. They had good performances, and I think the track listing that they chose were pretty solid. I really just don't have a big urgency to be like with some of the other ones that I've seen to really want to go and experience this again. So, but if anybody wants to join me, by all means, go ahead. As for me, I am now going to head out to another concert. So, with that said, I am gonna thank you guys for your time, and make sure to like, obviously make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and make sure to share this video with other people, so that way we can get more people into this conversation, because the more the merrier.